I am going to preface this video by explaining what a dumb blonde I am. And I'm doing it now! I have a camera that I usually record with, and I had that on the table I'm using, but I'm not recording from it. I'm actually using the built-in camera on the computer. So I'm looking at the correct camera now, but all through the video I'm like this because I'm looking at the camera beyond my computer. So I'm really not spacey and staring off into space. I just thought I was looking at the camera. Good morning, and it's time for Camper Coffee Talk. And I have my coffee, and I'm ready to drink my coffee and talk about my week. So this video is mostly going to be about downsizing. I went from I had a 4-bedroom house with a full basement with lots of storage, and I ended up downsizing to a small bungalow that was, I went from 2,000 square feet to 600 square feet. So I had to get rid of so much stuff. I donated so much stuff. And before I moved into the bungalow, I still had some things I didn't go through because I didn't have time and I had to do my closing and everything. So then I got the bungalow, and up until yesterday, there were still boxes that I never even unpacked. So, you would think, well, geez, if I haven't gone in that box in the past year, I must not need it. But I made that mistake before and almost threw away my son's hospital footprints when he was born. So now I go through everything. Because if I packed it up, I needed it at some point. So let's go through and see, what I can really donate, what I can really toss. What I found helpful when I downsized houses was to draw a map, like a blueprint of the house I was moving into, with actual measurements. And this blueprint became my plan of what I could actually bring to the new house. So I knew, okay, in the bedroom, I have a wardrobe and I have room for one dresser. I don't have room for my nightstands. So I knew going into the new house, I wasn't going to bring my nightstands, and I had to sort through the clothing that was in the nightstands to see if I even needed it. And then I did the same. I did that mostly with the furniture. What furniture was going to fit and what furniture would I need to donate. So I think it really helped me plan and not get overwhelmed. Knowing, okay, well, that's just not going to fit. There's no way I can bring it. I need to get rid of it. Luckily, the bungalow I downsized to there's an attic and there's the garage. So I limited what I would store into what I really couldn't let go of, that I felt were needs for either myself, my kids, or my business. So I'm an artist, so I saved all my art supplies in different bins in the attic, and my tools. I have lots of power tools and like a drill press and a table saw and, tools that take up space. And I have that in an area in the garage because I love woodworking. So I knew moving into the camper, I'm going to leave my tools in the garage at the house I'm giving to my son, because I am not going to be able to afford the mortgage due to health issues. And I'll make another video about that. So I did the same thing with the camper, kind of. I knew I needed a map, what was going to fit, what wasn't going to fit. So I measured the storage spaces under the dinette and the other storage spaces. I'm not talking about the cabinets. I'm talking about the places under the bed and under the dinette benches. I measured those out and I bought bins. I bought bins that would fill those spaces up. So then those bins that I bought, and if you can't afford bins, you could do the same thing with bags. You know, it was just the system so I would know what was going to fit. So once I had the amount of bins and I knew I couldn't fill more than those bins, I brought the bins in the house, labeled the bins, like important papers, sheet music, bills, clothing. And I divided clothing into t-shirts, dress clothes, winter clothes, summer clothes, or something similar to that. So I filled the bins, and that's it. And I knew, okay, that's what I can fit in the camper. And I still have, I'm going to post pictures, because I bought a bunch of file folders. And I got, because you can't put a heavy file cabinet in a camper, at least I don't want to. So I bought these expandable plastic file holders, and I got like 2 of these big ones and 4 thin ones. And I got these, one because they're plastic, so I know they're waterproof. So if something happens, I don't know what could happen. I'm new at this, but I just thought if they were being stored in a cabinet that's under the bench but also accessible from outside, I just kind of wanted it weatherproof in case there's water leakage or something. So today, and I'll post a picture, I have all over the dinette are boxes and piles of important papers, and I have to go through them and put them in which file they're going to go in. I brought all my instruments in. I wanted to hang them. I planned on hanging them on the walls, but not finding any studs. I used my stud finder, and the only stud I'm finding is the one where the TV could get mounted if I had a TV, but I don't do TV. So, and that mount is right by the door, so I can't really mount an instrument there. So I'm gonna have to search YouTube and find some creative ways to mount instruments. Oh, I was saying I can't hang, I have to find a way to try to hang instruments on the wall. Maybe I could use drywall anchors or molly bolts. So I have to look into that, because I have a lot of instruments that can hang. I have my baritone ukulele that's almost the size of a guitar, a mandolin, ukulele, another ukulele, percussion instruments, tambourine. I found a place that's hanging on the fire extinguisher. So it's like dual purpose. Like if I go to grab the fire extinguisher because I accidentally made a fire in my camper instead of outside, when I take the fire extinguisher off the wall, the tambourine's gonna make all this noise, so it's like a built-in fire alarm. I'm so smart. I felt good about getting rid of things because I was thinking, well, you know, one time I used that and I needed that, but I no longer need that. For example, swing dancing shoes. I had this goal of I was going to take swing dancing lessons, and so I got some swing dresses and some swing shoes, and guess what? 8 years later, I still haven't worn those shoes or worn those dresses. And, you know, they were expensive, so there's some things that I thought, well, maybe I should sell these instead of donating them. So I did put a few things up for sale on the Let Go app, and I did a few donations of things like furniture I wasn't going to use and that I couldn't sell. So when I was packing up my clothes, I had one bin particularly, and it's like a little bit bigger than shoebox size, height about as big as my head, width about a little bit bigger than my head, and length maybe shoebox length. So I knew that was my t-shirt bin. How many t-shirts do you really need, Steph? Really? What I was doing was I was going through my t-shirts. I'm like, oh, this t-shirt's in good shape. Okay, I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep this one. And then I came to one that had some paint on it. One of my too many work shirts. And I was like, okay, well, this has paint on it. I can keep this for a work shirt. Because at some point, I'm going to be crawling up on the roof, putting in solar panels and using caulk, and it's messy and, whatever. I'm going to need a work shirt. So I folded the work shirt and I put it in the t-shirt bin. Going through more clothes, I find a second work shirt with some dried paint on it. And I was like, oh, another work shirt. I should keep this in case the first work shirt is dirty or something happens to it. And then I caught myself. No, I think I got to the third work shirt and I was going to keep it. And I'm like, I can't do this. How many work shirts do you really need? One. Just one. Just one. So I started thinking about it that way. That I need one type of work shirt, one type of running or exercise shirt, and maybe 2 t-shirts for summer outfits. I wear a lot of little sundresses. And I guess that's going to depend on location and where I am and if I'm wearing sandals or my trail shoes. Because I don't know what the elements are. And I don't wear sundresses to get prettied up. I wear sundresses because they're very flowy and comfortable in the summer. So when I was packing my sundresses, you know what happened? I had too many bins of sundresses. So I tried to keep 4, thinking that that's enough. So I got rid of a lot of beautiful sundresses. But I gave them, I'm donating them to my niece. I don't think they'll fit my sisters, but my niece is a hippie chick like me, and I'm sure she'll appreciate them and enjoy wearing them. The keepsakes from my children that I've been keeping, like my son's baby book, photographs. I took pictures of all the photographs so I can keep them on an online photo site. So I made digital copies of all the physical pictures, stored them in 2 places, because you never know if a site's going to go down or if your external drive is going to crash and break. Oh, this was hard. This was hard to get rid of, but it's something I don't need. I had like an entertainment center. I'm going to try not to cry. For the past 13 years, I started a wedding photography business, and I had all these wedding albums that I ordered, of my photos of brides' weddings to show as examples. And I had a huge, 200-page portfolio of my favorite pictures I ever took. And I had framed pictures, and I had all this in my living room, so when I met with brides for new weddings, I could show off my work. Well, I'm not shooting weddings anymore, so I don't need these things. And I think this was really the only thing I got emotional about. So I was thinking the same things, just like the pictures of my kids or family, that, well, I have them online. I can look at them online, but to physically get rid of them, it finalized that part of my life is over. Sorry, I'm emotional again. Some of the albums I was able to reach the brides and just give them so they'd have an extra album. Some pictures and albums I gave to the venues where that job was photographed at, like the reception places or whatever. And some of them, the brides are divorced. So I wasn't about to call them up. You know, I know because we keep in touch through Facebook, and I'm not going to call people up and say, hey, do you want your wedding album? You know? So some of them I just had to get rid of, like venues that don't exist anymore because they got ruined in Hurricane Sandy. Or I know that bride and groom got divorced. So they went in the trash. And the garbage man came just an hour ago and dumped my garbage bin. And so that was really tough. And for the other things that I boxed up that I wasn't sure if I needed or not, I put in 2 large bins, and I'm not going to pay for storage. Luckily, I have the garage at the house that now my son is going to live in. What did I label the bin? Do I need these? Question mark. So I put lots of stuff in those bins. And then I filled the camper with the bins of what I needed. And then yesterday I went back to those bins of what I thought I might need if I could fit it in the camper. And guess what? I don't need them. I don't need the second curling iron. I don't need hairspray. I don't need... What else was in there? Oh, cookbooks. Don't really need cookbooks because I can find recipes online. I've been following Hobotech and his friend... I can't remember her name now. Stacy. RV Life with Stacy, I think is her channel. And Hobotech Tom was going through and touring her camper. She had this crock pot, and Hobotech said, well, you really don't need that crock pot because it uses so much electric because you have it cooking for so long. Well, my crock pot was something I kept because I love to use it, and I figured, oh, I can make crock pot meals and then freeze them all in my freezer, you know, because I'm traveling alone. So I really don't make big meals for a crowd of people. But the crock pot takes a lot of space up, so I was storing things in the crock pot as well. Like extra coffee, because you always need extra coffee. You always need extra cans of coffee. Always. I needed a place to store my cans of coffee, so I was using the crock pot. But I got realizing, yeah, if I don't have electric hookups, I'm not going to be using the crock pot. And anything I cook in the crock pot, I could cook on the stove. So downsizing the crock pot. The crock pot is getting given away. I found that there were papers I was holding on to just in case, or for this or for that. Like, for example, all my transcripts and course papers from college. Those I can scan and just keep digital copies of. So I'm doing a lot of that. And I know I can call all the colleges I went to get my transcripts. And I don't know if I'll ever need them again, but I know I can get them from the college websites. So I'm really, really thinking what I really need, what I can scan, what I can donate to those in need. And like my son's keepsakes and my daughter's, like the clothes they came home from the hospital with, or baby quilt I made them, or things they wrote that I thought were so cute I had to keep them, or artwork they made at school. You know what I did with those? I gave those to the kids. I gave my son's baby book, photographs from family photographs of him with his cousins or with me when he was much younger that I was saving. I gave all those to my son, and I felt really good about it. And things I had for my daughter, I gave to my ex-husband so he could hold on to for her. So I know those are going to a good place, because sooner or later I'm not going to be here. So what am I going to do with them? I'm going to make sure that they're in my kids' hands now before something does happen. So I'm at 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop this video. If I get enough subscribers, and if anyone's interested, I can do these live. Like, I think I have 38 subscribers at this point. And I think the only people that watch my Camper Coffee Talk are my sister and her husband. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Brent. So maybe they'll go live with me next week and ask questions. But my sister's good at playing devil's advocate, so she'll probably have a lot of questions, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And if there's any of you that are viewing that have subscribed and you want to know when I'm going live, there's a notification bell on YouTube. So you can't just subscribe. You have to click the notification bell, and that will notify you of upcoming scheduled live YouTube feeds. So that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for watching and enjoy your weekend. And I will make another video when I have something new to report. Thanks. Bye.